Welcome to day 43 of me backtesting my way to success. Let's just get right into the charts. First trade was a win, and the reasons why I entered were this 3-hour fair value gap to the upside, equilibrium from the swing low to the swing high, and once it went below the 50% mark and swept this area of liquidity, I entered because I was considering entering right off of this candle right here, not the white one but the gray one, since it was a break of structure to the upside. And yeah, I had those other two confluences. But I really wanted to have this area of liquidity swept, and I didn't want to have a stop loss or like this. I didn't want to have a stop loss that was this huge. I mean, the risk-reward ratio would have still been fine, but that's just a way better entry point, and that's why I waited for this liquidity to get swept. Once it did, I entered stop loss below the sweep with a little breathing room. Take profits, previous areas of liquidity right here and also right here. Both were hit. Let's just see how the next trade goes. Next trade was another win, and the reasons why I entered were this 2-hour order block right here, 2-hour fair value gap, and equilibrium from the swing high to the swing low. And of course a break of structure in the lower time frames right here. Stop loss was above the sweep. Take profit was only the beginning of this 2-hour order block, because right here price went even just barely out of the order block, and the last couple of days I've been losing trades because just exactly the same thing happened. Price went barely out of the confluence, and then it completely ignored the confluence. And so I was thinking, yeah, and so I was not too sure if price would go down all the way here, which it did in the end, but that's fine, you know, I missed out on a good trade, but that's just what happens. I didn't want to take a trade against my gut, and so yeah, I just entered for this one trade, which is fine too. So let's just see how the next trade goes. The next trade was also another win, and the reasons why I entered were this 3-hour fair value gap to the downside, 2-hour order block to the downside, and equilibrium from the swing high to the swing low. And of course also a break structure in the lower time frames. So right here, off of this candle I entered, off of this one. Yeah, since those were not very, I mean, this one was a clear break structure actually, but I still waited a little bit for a better one. Stop loss was above the previous high. Take profits were the beginning of this 3-hour fair value gap and the bottom of this equilibrium box, which was also, of course, the area of liquidity, the previous one. First take profit was hit, and then I moved my stop loss to the break-even point, which was a good thing because in the end I would have gotten stopped out right here. So it was a wise call, and that's exactly why I didn't enter for 2 take profits in a previous trade, since yeah, just since that kind of thing happens quite often actually, what I noticed. But still, it was a good. It was actually, I should actually when I have those kind of trades, I should still enter for 2 take profits, but maybe move my second take profit to the my second stop loss to the break even point once it goes into the confluence, which I think it's going to reverse on. So yeah, that's something I can take from this trade. Let's just see how the last trade goes. And the last trade of the day was actually a loss. The reasons why I entered were this 3-hour fair value gap right here, 3-hour breaker block right here, equilibrium from the swing low to the swing high, and a breaker structure in the lower time frames. But of course I waited at first for price to enter this breaker block. I think I still entered too early because it just barely went into the order block, and I entered off of a good breaker structure though. So stop loss was below the breaker. Take profits were this area of liquidity, this area of liquidity, and also this area of liquidity. And I was planning to move my stop loss to the break-even point once price went into this 4-hour fair value gap to the downside. Right here, this one. Yeah, my plans actually got nullified. I think actually if I get a good break, yeah, I think price is just going to go up now. Yep, okay, so I entered too early. So if I'd been a bit more patient, I actually could have won this trade too. But you know, I've been fighting in patience since day one of the series, and it's still there. But it's gotten a lot better, I believe, because I think at the beginning of the series I probably would have entered right here off this break of structure, wouldn't have waited for price to go into the breaker block. And right here I entered once it dipped into the breaker block, but I could have still waited for a better entry, since also I was considering not entering right here, since I also wanted a breaker structure above this high, but it didn't happen, and you know, like I said, because of impatience I still entered. So that's already it for today's episode. Today was a pretty good session. We'll see you in the next one.